Jockey Club Gold Cup, Jockey Club Gold Cup, Jockey Club Gold Cup, full field rundown.
Today's video is brought to you by Assiniboia Downs Gaming and Event Center. Be sure to tune into this channel live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern for Monday Night Lights, hosted by Trust the Profits.
Not as easy as it looks. This is Trust the Profits. I'm the Formula, and I'm here to give you a full field rundown on the Jockey Club Gold Cup for 2023. It is a race that will be run on September 2nd at Saratoga, a G1, 10 furlongs, 1.25 on dirt. It is the cousin, the eastern cousin to a race I just covered, the Pacific Classic. This race is not as deep, though. You can see it got 6 horses there. I would say maybe about half of them are notable. The other half are a little bit wanting. Maybe a couple upstarts here who are looking to make a name for themselves, maybe capitalize on a small field. But keep in mind, this is early. We are recording this before we have full entries. These are probables, not fully entered horses. So the field could change between now and then. This is as we know of it right now. Thank you to HRN for giving us a lovely graphic. Moving on, let's talk about the first horse, Proxy. 66% of the time finishing in the money, 6 wins, 6 second places. I mean, what more can you ask for from Proxy? Winner of the Monmouth Stakes, G3, beating Welland Springs by 2.5 lengths. Not the greatest of competition, but a solid victory. He also won the Oaklawn Handicap, a G2, beating Last Samurai by a head in that race. Second at the Santa Anita Stakes, losing by a neck to Stiletto Boy, closing out from eighth in a 9 horse race there. He's got some pretty impressive wins. Where are his concerns? His concerns for me are anytime we get a large race, fully packed with horses that he has to navigate around. Traffic is Proxy's greatest concern, in my opinion. This sets up well for him, assuming that the probables stay intact. Even if we get an extra horse here and it's 7, I think that gives him an ample amount of room to maneuver around and close out even from a deep position and really do some damage, improve that in the money first, second place percentage that he has going for himself right now. Proxy, strong contender in this race, as is Rattle and Roll. 8 wins in 19 races. You can't ignore Rattle and Roll. Last time out, second place in the Stephen Foster, just half a length behind West Willpower. A very solid second place for Rattle and Roll in that. Previous to that, he had 3 wins in a row in G3 races. The Blame Stakes, which he beat Call Me Fast by 1.25 lengths. The Pimlico Special, beating Speed Bias in that one, closing from 10 lengths back. And then the Ben Ali, winning by 1.25 lengths over Call Me Fast. Additionally, you got Happy American and Pioneer Medina in that one. Rattle and Roll really coming on strong after having some issues going into his 2022 chase for the Derby, we'll say. Duke of Love, the Duke of Love. 4 wins in 12 races for this Woodbine Warrior. Last out, he won the West Virginia Governor's Stakes, 8.5 furlong event, beating Surly Furious by 3.75 of a length. I can do this. Took over at the 3/4 mile mark. Was challenged by Surly Furious, but really owned it the rest of the way through for that finish there. Was 7th at the Dominion Stakes before that, stalking most of the way, but really lacking a drive at the final stretch. Several races at Woodbine, but not much success previous to that. A lot of allowance races going 6th, 6th, 8th, 4th at Woodbine. Running at Saratoga, this could be a good change of scenery for him. He had a good race also at Fort Erie for what it's worth, not the highest uh, ranking in terms of parks, but it definitely seems like Woodbine was a bit of a challenge for Duke of Love. So curious to see what he can do here at Saratoga if he's entered in. Moving on next to Clapton. Clapton? Clapton, who came up with that? Old slow horse, Clapton. 22 races, 5 wins, 4 second places, 6 shows. Not exactly slow horse. I want to make a little joke there about slow hand, but you can't do that here with Clapton. This is a successful horse, especially in 2023, where in 5 races, 100% of the time he's finished in the money. Last time out, the Suburban Stakes, he was 4 lengths behind Charge It in that one. Charge It being pretty stiff competition, obviously. It was only a 5 horse race, but he was the one who was closest to Charge It in that one. Pimlico Special, again behind Rattle and Roll in that one, 4 lengths behind for him in that one. Speed bias in between the two, and winner of the Ghost Zapper Stakes, beating O'Connor by a head in that one. So impressive 2022, but he didn't hit the board and graded stakes in that year. So 2023, he's really come along. Another closer needs things to fall into place for him. He's not going to get ahead of the pack early on. But Clapton definitely an interesting play here in the 6 horse field. Unbridled Bomber, let's move along to him. 4 wins in 17 races, 3 third places to add. Third place at the Suburban Stakes, where he was 8 lengths behind Clapton and Charge It in that one. 4 lengths behind Clapton, 8 lengths behind Charge It. If we're going to get, you know, persnickety on this. Again, a 5 horse field in that one. The Westchester Stakes, 9 lengths back of Repo Rocks and Zandon in that one. Previous to that, he was a winner of 3 allowance races at Aqueduct, has yet to make a real dent in any sort of graded stakes race. Could this be the time for Unbridled Bomber? And moving on, we got one more left here, and it is Warrior Johnny. It's the one I'm most interested in here is Warrior Johnny. So third place finish at the Henshin Stakes, 6 lengths behind Zozos. Okay, not super. Previous to that, he had 2 allowance races at Churchill where he won a 7 furlong race over King Ottoman by 4 lengths. And then second place, half a length behind Pioneer Medina in an 8.5 furlong race there. That race was in November. So there was a big gap between races there. He's third. This is his third race coming off of a pretty long layoff. Before that, he was training up to race some pretty long distance races here, which plays into the Jockey Club Gold Cup at 10 furlongs. He did have a nice 9 furlong win at Saratoga, winning by 8 lengths over the field there on August 18th. So this is a horse that before taking a break was training up for some pretty long distances. Maybe Warrior Johnny is someone to consider here. Here we go. At the end of 6 horses, what do we got? I am going with Rattle and Roll as my safe pick. I know, I know. I said good things about Proxy in a 6 horse field. I stand by those, but I also stand by Rattle and Roll. I've always liked this horse, and he's been very impressive lately. It's difficult for me to put him aside. I have a feeling it is going to be a tooth and nail battle between Rattle and Roll and Proxy. I will give the edge as my safe pick to Rattle and Roll. I can't use a value play on Proxy, even though I don't know the odds right now. I really don't think you're going to get value on Proxy. I think both he and Rattle and Roll are going to be less than 2 to 1 odds, if I'm honest. So I'll say Clapton is my value play here. Clapton, definitely the next best horse up. But if we're going to talk key, right, Rattle and Roll, Proxy, Clapton, Warrior Johnny, if you do want to go 4 deep, if you think that there's some value out there, I think Warrior Johnny is probably going to be the best value. Third race, coming off the layoff, going the distance that he was training up to previous to that, could make a dent here. Could be the third horse up. Maybe if one of Rattle and Roll or Proxy end up not being able to make the distance here at 1.25 miles, he could be the one that squeaks in there to place or something. But yeah, that's the way I'm seeing the field right now. So what do you guys have? Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. Give us a like. Tell your friends about us too. Tell them to subscribe, become a member, donate to us. We'll send you our picks. It's a lot of fun. We got some good tip sheets. Anyway, like I said, give us a like. We love you guys. See ya.